something to ask yourself about if you're reading. Like, it does touch on some interesting things, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. You go next.
Sounds good. Right, so a book that you've done for Books Boys.
Yeah, we did this
2.5 years ago.
a long time ago.
It's been a while. I lent it to you because I had it, and you were saying you don't like Murakami that much. This one, you're like, this one's decent.
Yeah, previously I'd only read Kafka on the Shore.
I got halfway through Kafka. It's one that I did enjoy. I wish I had finished it, but I just never did. This one has been sitting on my bookshelf for 3 years at least.
Wow.
I bought Kafka on the Shore the same time I bought this, but I gave this book to my uncle and kept Kafka because I wanted to, create something that we could talk about Murakami together or something.
Sure, and that's nice.
I don't know if you ever read it though. So he passed away, and I just told my parents, right, I'd like to get this book back if he still has it, and got it and finally read it this month. So it's a meaningful book, at least for like the story behind it. If you were to look at this book, and would you be able to explain to me, like flipping through it, why immediately PJ would like this book?
So
if you flip through it,
Hard-Boiled Wonderland, the end of the world.
Yep, Hard-Boiled Wonderland.
Flicking through it.
You flipped too far already.
Oh, okay, sorry. Is it this black title page? We've got contents, we've got some little pictures. I don't know.
It's the map. PJ loves maps.
I had forgotten that. Yeah,
in books.
I skip them. When a book gives me a map, even when it's a historical book, like about Athens or something, a map would be useful, I skip it. Don't care. Give me the story. 400 pages almost. Okay.
To be fair, drawing a map... No, it is exactly 400 pages. Drawing a map is a part of the story. Yes, exactly 400.
Oh, literally exactly 400. Fantastic.
So yes, it's called Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World. So it's basically two stories. One is Hard-Boiled Wonderland, and the other is the End of the World.
Yeah.
More or less. Every other chapter is related to one of those two stories.
So this is the kind of book that's not my usual style, and yet I still remember liking it. So I guess it must have been pretty good for that to be the case.
I thought it was very interesting. I can see why it wouldn't normally be your style. So, Hard-Boiled Wonderland, basically, that's the even chapters. It's about this guy who ends up at this town. There's these random, like, golden-colored beasts that are kind of like a unicorn. He goes into the town. He has to have his shadow cut off. And
that's right.
Yeah, the shadow is basically forced to die, but he becomes part of the town. He's supposed to become a dream reader.
This is the kind of stuff that PJ writes as well. Like, he loves this type of stuff.
I know this is exactly not the type of thing that you would be interested in now that I've read it.
But where's the Duchess?
But that's only half the book, and it is kind of like a mystery. The other half, basically, it's this guy who works for this agency, and kind of like a cryptographer type guy.
It's coming back to me, yeah.
Yeah, so he's shuffling data around and working with all this. And he
doesn't know what he's doing or something, is it?
He doesn't really know. He was brought to a random building where there's this woman who he can't understand because she's so soft-spoken. And then he's forced to go into a closet, go downstairs, there's a waterfall down there, and go into an underground lab.
That's right,
It's like, okay, this is insane. And the doctor guy is weird. He has all these experiments. Some of his are with sound, and like he can make a waterfall completely silent if he wants to. And he's like, this is part of the future and all that, but I have all this data for you. If you do not give me this data in the next 2 weeks, that's the end of the world. The world will end.
So speaking as someone who's just been sent a lot of data for your PhD, how do you feel about this?
Well, as long as I don't have to have any type of surgery like this guy had done. I don't know how much I want to give away about this, because that's the first 2 chapters. There's 40 chapters. A lot happens. But basically, he's given a type of skull, which we find out is a unicorn skull. His people are looking for him and all this. And he's like, right, what in the world's even going on? The other situation with the hard-boiled Wonderland, he's just kind of getting used to the town. He realizes that like everyone just doesn't have a mind; they are just existing in this town. Um, but he kind of falls in love with the librarian. He still has the ability to love somebody. Um, so it's basically living in that.
I remember the librarian. Yes.
Yes. Well, there's librarians in both
So,
of the books. Both parts of the book.
Remind me.
Yeah.
There's two separate stories here. Do they link at some point?
Yes.
Or they do? Okay, good.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
a reason for it.
That happens around like the 3/4 mark. I don't really want to give anything away that's how they do link, because it's actually a pretty decent link. I kind of figured it out, but there was more to it that I didn't completely understand. So yeah, the link is quite interesting. Most of it, I'd say, the one with the cryptographer, it is a thriller at that point. The one that is just in that town, it's kind of fantasy, but it almost, you're not really sure what's going on. So there is a little bit of I don't want to say it's not suspense in any way, but
Okay.
yeah, it's a mystery. Like, right, what is actually going on here? So yeah, that's basically all I really want to say about it. I would give it a yeah. That is important.
Let's do that.
Let's go ahead and give it the yeah.
How many of his books have you read? Is it just this and Kafka?
This and half of Kafka.
Okay.
Kafka had none of the like fantastical elements to it. All I remember about Kafka is him running away from home. He goes to a library. He loves libraries, I guess, Murakami.
Isn't Kafka a little bit fantastical as well? Isn't it just like the Colonel from KFC is there and like weird stuff happening in it?
I don't remember that at all.
There's just weird stuff happening, and I'm like,
I just remember
alright,
he ran away from home. He meets some girl like while he's traveling, and then he's like, right, I need a job. And he's like, right, you can do stuff at the library. The librarian helps him out.
That bit
And
I
it's-
liked. I liked
yeah.
the library stuff, and it's not a bad book by any means. I think I just didn't like that some bits of it were weird. This one I preferred.
No, that's fair. Murakami loves also delving into sexuality a bit.
Yes.
So
But isn't it a bit creepy? No? Am I wrong? Have I misremembered?
I think it was mostly, well, Kafka I don't remember well enough. This one, like two consenting adults, there's a little bit of weirdness. Like the woman can eat a ton because of some gastro thing that she has.
Okay.
So he's like, right, I'm disgusted. I cannot find you attractive.
That,
at this
okay,
point.
that's this. It's kind of a bit chauvinistic at times, no? It's a bit chauvinistic at times, no? From what I remember.
He does then fall in love with her, and they do sleep together.
Yeah, but he points out that she's like not attractive and things.
No. He says like she's absolutely gorgeous, super skinny.
Okay.
But it's like, right, she ate like 10 plates of food. I'm a bit put off. That is
Okay.
bit
Maybe I
much.
remember it worse than it is.
There was another character in this who is the doctor's daughter. He does say that like she's fat but cute, and she keeps trying to sleep with him. He's like, no, I'm not sleeping with you. There is a bit of that.
Yeah. Okay. So he kind of has like a lot of. Because I remember talking to PJ about this before, and it's like, yeah, he has a lot of horny characters, basically, especially the women, like a lot of projections of like, oh, the women just always want to sleep with the man, and he's kind of like, oh, this one's not good enough, and that kind of stuff. I think that's a constant in Murakami's books a little bit.
I remember, at least in Kafka, that it was mostly just him, like the kid figuring out his own sexuality at that point.
Okay.
So he's like, right, he doesn't have parents there. He's trying to understand what puberty's like by himself, I guess. But yeah, this one he's known for just sleeping around, I guess. But it also seems like this